Hi everyone, welcome back. We are on week number 4. It's so good to be in our 4th week of the semester. I hope everybody is coming along good, and we've given some leeway on the first few weeks to see if every assignment is completed or if you had any questions along the way. I hope the book is easy to follow. I know you're not in class with me, so it is kind of difficult to get some face-to-face time, but I am available on Mondays from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. in the classroom, room E-229 on the Cuyamaca campus. So this chapter this week is about the property management plan. So it was a little different from our previous week on economics and the history of property management, as well as the types of owners and the type of managers. This week we're looking at the management plan. So you, just like in life, you have to be prepared and have a plan to go forward. It shows your readiness and your thoughts being structured and prepared for this upcoming semester. The management plan is a financial guideline as far as what the project manager will be doing for the client. So it sets forth very clearly the physical and financial goals that we have for our clients. Now, keep in mind the goals for your client or the owner may not always be financial. It could be that they have a less expenses to maintain on their properties, so they could have less maintenance. Their goal could be that the tenant gets along with other tenants, that they keep quiet, or perhaps that no children or animals are allowed on the property. They could want them to pay on time, to be prompt and not disruptive to the other tenants or the other neighbors. Easy cleanup, easy repairs, cheap to rent for a longer term tenant. You don't have to pay for those market expenses. So it may not be always the higher and the best rent for the area. It could be that the client has another goal in mind that is their top priority. So this proposal set forward will determine that their physical and financial goals, as well as what the highest and best use for this property is. And for those who have taken my appraisal class, we know highest and best use is the physically possible, the most physically possible option the property can be put to use, the best financial option the property can be used as, and what is legally feasible for the area due to zoning and other government restrictions. So the highest and best use of the property can be put into. If the property is zoned for single family usage and it is currently being used as a parking facility or it is a vacant lot, what do you think the highest and best use would be? The same with if the zoning supports a higher use as far as apartments go, do you think it's financially feasible to add an additional unit to get that additional rent to the property? So we need to look at the demographics in the area, which is unfortunate because a lot of times demographics don't always give you the best image of what an area is, but it does help. It does help because a lot of people have taken this statistical data and collected it and done analysis on it. So I can tell you as a property manager, each area is completely different. Some areas are very easy to rent. I can get hundreds of applications the first day it's listed. Others can take weeks, could take months to rent. It just depends on the area, the type of clientele, the type of people that are looking in those particular areas. And it's just a good place to start, is to look at the demographics for an area. So the book does talk about the Metropolitan Statistical Area, the MSA, as far as a good area to get your information from. Other information would be the census. The census is great data. It's done per our Constitution every 10 years. as well as I like to use citydata.com. It gives me a quick and easy rundown as far as what's going on in the area. Unemployment rates, the census, city websites. So if you go to certain cities and certain counties, they have compiled a lot of information on the city itself. So it's a good place to start. This last week, we talked about the property I had for rent in La Mesa, and that property has been rented. It was fairly easy to rent. It was very well upkept by the previous tenant. It has really good curb appeal. It appeals to a larger family because it is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's a large lot. So those particular types of tenant are looking for a property that has a bigger lot, so they could have animals, they could have children, they may have older parents that they're needing to take care of. So you have to look at the right type of clientele for the right type of property in that certain demographic. Right now, the really hot areas that I'm having no problem renting are inner city, within the city of San Diego, close as possible to the downtown areas, to the trolley and the bus stations. Very hot areas to rent right now. One in particular would be the Golden Hill area. That, in the past, has not been the best area to rent. It is known for high crime, as well as a variety of individuals that are less desirable, shall we say. So that was always a difficult area. Right now, it is extremely hot area. Same with Hillcrest, North Park, South Park. They are really hot. Lots of people are looking to rent there. More rentals than house sales that I'm noticing because the cost to buy is so expensive. So real high turnover, if need be, in the Golden Hill area right now. The larger homes in the unincorporated areas, the unincorporated counties, out Ramona, Lakeside, even the incorporated area of Santee, Tirisana, difficult areas to rent. Specific individuals looking in those areas are more difficult to come by, whereas you have a higher population to choose from within the city districts. So that's what I'm noticing right now. So we have to look at the neighborhood, what are the vacancy rates, what's the income for that area, and do an income approach. If you are accounting for the income that is made in those areas, there's going to be a variety from one city to the next. So when you look at this chapter, we also talk about the income approach and the vacancy and collection loss. When a property is vacant, are you collecting rent on that property? No. In fact, not only are you not collecting rent, so you're not receiving any income on that, you may also have to be paying a property manager their set management fee, as well as paying out for all the advertising and the open houses that you do. So it's not generating any income for the vacancy, and it's costing you money in the fact that you're having to advertise this property. So you always want to know your demographics and which the best city and easiest to rent. The quicker turnaround you can get, the better it is for getting somebody in there and generating some income for your client or for yourself. So normally, historically, vacancy and collection loss, whether that be from a tenant not paying rent, not paying on time, having to issue citations or to contact the court for a 3-day quit evacuation notice, that's costing you some money. So you have to consider that in the income approach when you're generating the income and you're looking at a full 12 months. That portion of time when the property is not rented, you have to account for as far as an expense. And historically, that's been about 5 to 10%. It's really low now. We are seeing on average about 2 to 3% collection and vacancy loss on average. So it's always best to get that money in place, get that rent, get that lease signed. So when we do a analysis, we are looking at comparable properties in the area to see how attractive they are. What is the location, the size, the mix, and the mix is the bedroom and the bathroom count. If it's a 4-unit complex, you know how many are 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, how many are 1 bedroom, 1 bath, how many are studios. What is the common area? If it's an office space, is there a common area for all tenants? Is there other additional rental space available, such as storage or kiosks that can be rented? What are some of your expenses, whether that be mechanical and electrical? So you have to take that all into account when you are defining your market analysis. So you're looking at all these other comparables in the neighborhood, and you want to see how your rent compares to these comparables. You're going to look for properties that are as similar as possible to yours and do your market analysis. You want to see how your day-to-day operations are and determine how the property is being managed compared to others. If your turnover is too high, you're getting way too many tenants and you're not maintaining them for a long period of time, maybe your rent is too high for the area and that you're exceeding that market rent. However, if you have too little turnover and you're not getting new tenants and you're not getting a little bit of turnover, which is good, maybe your rents are too low and you're just maintaining those current tenants in order to just generate what you have been generating in the past. Maybe doing another market analysis to see what other properties in the neighborhood are renting for compared to your property, taking into account location, attractiveness, age, size, mix, and making your analysis there. There's a great comparable analysis sheet in your book on page 92 where you can show your subject property and all of the comparables based on a price per square foot, the age, the amenities, and the vacancy in the area. So you want to make sure that you are maximizing your rents and your return on to the investor is as good as possible compared to what they expect in your management plan. You want to maximize the owner's return and also abide by their highest priority. So let's say their highest priority is to maintain a good rental rate where the tenant always pays on time. So you want to make sure that you are doing a market analysis to make sure that you're within the range of a market. You're going to look at those comps and price per square foot. Once you've done all of your adjustments, your price per square foot could range anywhere between, let's say, $72 to $94 a square foot. Are you automatically going to go to $94 a square foot? No, not always. You have to determine where your subject lies within that range. If it is the best possible comp out there compared to the other availabilities, then yes, sure, go with the $94 per square foot. However, it's an older property and it's got a lot of deferred maintenance. It hasn't been kept up as well as possible. You may be on the lower end of that range at the $64 per square foot. And that's basically what the rental mark will take for that type of a property. So you want to take into account that you are maximizing that owner's priorities as far as getting that continual income and the best that they could possibly get for that particular asset. So we also want to take a look at what are some other options for tenants in our market analysis. So we're going to analyze our options, and if there's any other options out there that are better for the tenants or any comparables that we are directly competing against as far as maintaining and getting particular applicants to sign a lease for our properties. How can we set ourselves aside and make a difference and get those particular people into our office and sign a lease with us compared to our competitors? So what are some things that you could offer as far as amenities, as far as concessions to get those people to sign your lease? You want to take a look at that in your management plan as well. This chapter was one of the longest chapters, I have to admit, after we take a look at the demographics and our management plan, the property itself, deterioration, physical change, highest and best use. It was a difficult chapter to get through, so I hope you guys are able to do that. Being an online class, I'm not there directly as a lecturer for a 3-hour lecture to talk to you about this whole chapter, but these little videos every once in a while should help, and I am available on Mondays from 6:30 to 7:30 in the classroom if you want to come and chat with me. The quiz and each of the essay assignments should be pretty straightforward. Everything is all open book, so you shouldn't have any problems with that, especially since we give you 2 times the availability to take the quiz. And you have the whole week to complete the quiz, the chapter, and the essay questions. But feel free to email me if you have any questions on the assignments, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.